The further you have to move your cursor to be able to hit your shot, the less accurate you're going to be. You can pre-aim around corners and you don't have to move your mouse as much. You can hit much more accurate shots. And so today I'll be showing you guys how to pre-aim on the map Chop Shop. If you guys want to see more content like this, please like and subscribe, and then let me know in the comments down below if you want to see more pre-aim videos. I'll do it on different maps as well. The most vital part of pre-aiming is knowing how to flick to targets and practicing your aim in the first place. One of the best ways, in my opinion, is going through aim labs. Just practicing every day for just a few minutes at a time. We want to basically just train our aim a little bit and then mainly focus on pre-aiming when we're playing through our matches, just trying to get used to the gunplay as much as possible in Arena to really get better at Tarkov in general. If you want to see my aim labs training regimen, just know it'll be somewhere in the video description below or on the screen somewhere. I still have to make it, so it might not be in the video right away, but it will be here eventually. And just remember, what makes a really good pre-aim angle is one where they can't really see, the enemy can't see your body very easily. You're able to clearly see where their head is at. There's not really any guessing as to where you're shooting at. And choose something that they will have to peek or something that they will likely peek. So that way it gives you a big advantage. You can catch them off guard as they think that they're able to peek something with ease, where you're already there pre-aiming something, ready to take them out. And never, ever, ever forget the golden rule of FPS games, which is to never peek the same angle twice. Even if you're peeking an angle and they don't see you, it's okay to peek it a second time. But as soon as they see you the first time peek out at a specific spot, try to switch it up and at least get a different height advantage if you're going to switch up your angle that you're peeking. I'm going to show this angle first, where we push through hut. We take sight here and go along the back side of sight, so that way there's not a lot of angles that we have to cover. When we're pushing through hut here, I just straight sprint all the way through. I check pit, and then I'm always peeking around this angle here to check anybody rushing out through pit. Sometimes people push along this back wall really quick, and they're able to take this pillar area right here very quickly. So typically what I'm doing is I'm running behind this car, and then I'm pre-aiming this angle here for pit, and then I check this little pillar spot here. See if anybody's pushed out. After I do this, I go and I take this angle. I check to see if anybody is hiding behind these little white barrels here. You can shoot through these white barrels if you see their player model through the little crack there. If this angle is clear, then I'm usually much safer to then peek this spot. And I'll check to see if anybody is peeking through the SUV by this little dinosaur guy. So that way they're not able to take out anybody else that is on site. And if anyone is pushing through pit, going to the site here, you can always try to peek them here on the left side, on this left angle. And then if you miss your shot or they're shooting at you a little bit, you can always re-peek from this SUV here. This is a very good spot. I don't peek this at the beginning of the round because I constantly, from the other side, am peeking that exact angle. And here I'll demonstrate with the scavs. They come around here. I could easily take them out. You have a very fast and clear angle there. Now coming out of the spawn here on the inside spawn, I'm running down and around. Typically I'll go through pit and then I'll take the back angle like I was explaining before. That's the reason why I peek and push this angle very quick, is mostly because it's just super strong. As we run out of the spawn here, we're pushing into pit. This is pit here. Sometimes if I hear somebody running on the middle, so it'll sound a lot like this. It's very distinct on the rafters here in heaven. If I hear that noise from the other side, sometimes I'll sit here and I'll pre-aim somebody's head. We want to kind of aim above these kind of black cables that are there. And typically their head will come right above it, and you can try to pre-aim them as they peek this spot. Usually it'll be by this kind of little pillar area. And then if you want to hold that, it's an okay spot. You and the player up above have a decent advantage on one another headshotting, so it kind of comes down to luck and accuracy. That's where usually I just kind of remove the luck portion of it, and I just push underneath here. Taking this pillar is super strong on Chop Shop. As I'm pushing through here, I'm typically peeking this angle as quickly as I can. And then I'm trying to take this pillar, because then usually I'll have people that are trying to hide back here by this white van. And usually because they're sitting so close and I have such a longer angle to peek, typically I can see them before they can see me. And that's part of the reason why it's such a strong angle to peek. And so that's typically why I take this angle, because you have just a much bigger advantage and you're able to headshot people that'll come around. And I'm usually trying to clear the rest of sight this way. Then I'll try to pre-aim anybody that's kind of in this area here. Typically we'll have some guy off the rip that's just kind of holding this specific angle right here. Now we're coming from this bottom right spawn or this outside spawn. Sometimes you can push up and through the middle. I really like to try to take sight because that's pretty much the only thing that's worthwhile late in the round. Otherwise you can push down through main here or long and through the garage. And you can try to do a really big flank. It's just very difficult to push this spot because a lot of people are holding angles, usually with long range weapons. Plus right off the bat here, people can actually see you over the car, especially if they have a high power scope. So if you push in here, we're going to just go this way first. We're going to really want to watch and be careful of connector, but usually you want to push this little garage spot here. And we want to start pre-aiming. We want to watch for this angle right here by the dyno again. We want to make sure that we're clearing this office window right here. And that we're clearing this kind of barricade here as well. Making sure that we're watching anybody that pushed up by the bus. And then always check this area right here by bus. This little corner right here. Usually so often I'll find people just holding this spot right here. Because I think it's really safe. But because of that, usually I'll always even pre-fire. And try to take out anybody that's trying to hold this little angle. Sometimes you can not pre-fire if you don't know if they're there or not, because you don't want to give away your position. Just getting ready to take that shot is very important. You're going to want to try not to show your body to the enemy team. That's typically by this SUV or again in pit over there. So if you're going to peek this bus angle, usually you're going to want to try to peek it a little wide by going out and around this area. You can try to grab this spot here, and then you can start taking the SUV over here. Peeking through bus. You could take bus if you want, but again, I'm mostly doing really aggressive pushes here. So push over here. We're really going to want to try to pre-aim right here. There could be potentially somebody holding a closer angle. And then you're really going to watch short here, which is this spot. This is pretty much all short, this area here. And this is the lane, or like mid lane. And people just call it mid. Pretty much we're going to want to look long. Then we're going to want to look short. See if anybody's connector. And then when we peek long, we're going to want to watch this angle right here. And we're going to watch the spawn. There are typically spots that people want to peek right at the start. Usually nobody's hiding in this kind of little corner here. So usually we'll try to prioritize this last. I'm coming around, I'm trying to peek this area. See if anybody's trying to hold a little spot back there. Usually you can see their gun sticking out because they're not really able to sit in the corner. That's why you don't really have to worry about it too much and clear it super thoroughly. You can kind of briefly clear that. You mostly want to watch for people hiding sometimes in this spot right here and people hiding in this corner as well. It's very easy for somebody to hide back here. Typically if these angles are pretty clear, I will try to push short because it's a much stronger push. Kind of have to watch close a little bit. Then just making sure that you're watching two very strong angles, which is this car right here. Super strong spot. You have to watch that. And then this bus spot, or this van right here. But typically whenever I'm pushing short here, I'm always watching for that angle and then pushing the van. Sometimes people will be tucked right here in this spot, but it's very rare that somebody is. It's a really good off angle. Even I don't really check it that much. So if you ever want to catch somebody off guard that's pushing short, you're going to want to sit like right here. The push from this outside spawn is coming out and through mid lane, and then trying to get onto the site over here, or try to get some mid control. I push through here. Sometimes you can push up past this car. You're going to meet somebody almost immediately. You really want to be careful if anybody's watching through the spawn there. Usually it's best to try to hop over the car. Try to take this angle here. Watch for bus. Somebody can usually sit close here. We're going to want to peek this angle right here. See if anybody's still in the spawn. We're checking the window next for the office. Next, we're checking right here. Then we're checking the SUV. And you really want to look. Nobody's like peeking already right here in the SUV because this square is so big. And usually you're going to want to just try to grab this angle very quickly. If you don't really see anybody there, then try to peek pit. Because there's a lot of people that will try to hold this spot and then this spot right here in pit. Usually not a lot of people are waiting and hiding right here. So if these spots are clear, maybe just try to like quickly look over. And then you can try to get onto the site a little bit easier. You can try to do a really big flank by pushing that side, which is... It can catch people off guard, especially if they're not ready for it and you haven't done it in a previous round. Now we'll do the reverse spawn or the counter to that push where you're peeking through the bottom, going through mid here. As we push through the long spot here, going through mid, you really want to check short as quickly as possible. After we check short, we're checking long angles. Checking for this angle here. Nobody should usually be pushed out over there. And we're checking for this spot. And then this angle right here. There's nobody here. Usually you could just... I don't even check this. Usually you could just run past. And we can just start checking anybody that's holding these back spots here. When we're peeking through this archway right here, you really, really want to be careful of somebody typically holding this specific spot right here by the sandbags. Almost always there will be somebody sitting right here waiting for somebody to push through the archways there. Usually I feel like I have the advantage when I'm pushing through the archway because typically you have a much longer angle than they do, especially if you sit back a lot further in the archway. Again, being closer to an angle and a peak makes it to where they can see you before you can see them. I know that might be confusing. I'll probably do a video on it at some point. Just make sure you're watching that spot and then checking through sight here, making sure nobody's along the back walls. Another kind of strong peek just gives yourself away really easily if you go through the bottom and then go through connector. I typically don't like going through connector right off the bat because of the distinct sound that it makes. Everybody knows you're pushing it. So if I push through here this way, we start to hear the woods noise. And that's when usually people will know to look for connector. You do it fast enough, and if there's a lot of noise going on, like people spraying off at the very start, then that's where you can typically push this really quickly. And you're going to want to grab this pit angle. You're going to want to watch for anybody pushing here. You're going to want to watch close here for the SUV. There's just too many angles to try to control here. That's why it's very difficult to push through connector. So typically it's better to push through connector when you're coming through the inside spawn this way. Sometimes you can kind of jump over it and they can't hit you very easily. You want to be safe and run up and then try to pre-aim it. That's also a good idea. Then pre-aiming here, pre-aiming the garage to see if anybody's pushed up over there already. And then again taking short, checking the car, bus, or the van, checking headshot, the little hut. Making sandbags, starting to take the back part of this little SUV here. Trying to check back sight, see if anybody's in different corners. Making anybody Jeep. But pushing on, constantly going, checking the different angles. Sometimes people can hide here. Check the white box. Check the SUV. Check the secondary SUV spot. Checking pit. And as you kind of play again last year and things like that, those different angles become a little bit more streamlined. It's obviously going to change depending on if somebody's laying down, somebody's playing a certain class. But we just want to make sure that we're not peeking the same angle twice. Somebody's peeking through here through short and you're at this kind of white bus here. You want to make sure that you're checking it, getting an interaction. You miss, they hit you, you hit them, whatever. And then you want to make sure you're taking a different angle, trying to pre-aim exactly where their head is at. A lot of this comes down to repetition and map knowledge, so as you play and practice, things will become much easier for you over time. We'll run a last hero really quick on Chop Chop just to wrap it up. I'll just go through my mind as to kind of what I'm pre-aiming, so that way you guys can understand kind of what I'm looking for. Peeking long. See if that guy peeks out again. He does. Bad decision. Somebody's really close right there. Somebody's kind of back. Oh, somebody hut. I missed a lot. Oh, somebody's right next to me. I'm gonna wait for him to push. Somebody's close. Somebody's Jeep. Somebody's close. He's in connector. Green pit. Watch connector. Watch back sight. Watch office here. Somebody office. He's running back to the spawn. Ram this. Take him out. Bus. People connector. I'm gonna push long. I think I heard somebody over here. Headshot him. Sometimes you have to headshot multiple times. There's somebody kind of close to this SUV. Pushing around. I think he sprinted out. Of course, he's sandbag. Always somebody's sandbag. Like I said, practice makes perfect, so make sure you're practicing your aim and aim labs, and then practicing those pre-aim angles. Maybe try to stick to 1 or 2 maps at a time, so you can just get a good amount of practice in. Hopefully you guys found this video useful. If you feel like I missed something, please let me know in the comments down below. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.